For breaking news, go to iDiskiTimes.co.za. iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting, iDiskiTimes.co.za. Richards Bay 0, Stellenbosch 3 in the semi-finals of the Culling Black Label Knockout Tournament. It means Stellenbosch, for the very first time in their history, will have an opportunity to win a major trophy in South African football because they are in the final. They will either play Amazulu or TS Galaxy, whoever qualifies from tomorrow. I think there was consensus really amongst all of us that Stellenbosch are probably the stronger sides between the two teams, and they showed it. Not through playing anything fancy, but they really were clinical. They scored their opportunities. Junior Khanye, our analyst, what do you make of the game, sir?
Keep on supporting iDiskiTV, fighting no one try to fix South African football. Yeah, the better team won. Yeah. In terms of the structure. Yeah. Structure and color. These players, I mean, going continuously. Continuity. I mean to say, if you can check, Mendieta's gone. Kunabo Adams, they came. Babuyaba, Avali Cap. Manga check understanding the way they are playing. It's very, very good in Gulego. And Nebawazu Glalang intensity high. Well coached, truly speaking. Corner the days good and with the Matimasa Cape Town, especially with Stellenbosch, just proved that with Suzodalang across. Stellenbosch, they've got players that can play in pitch. I will start the ball at the back, Gunatore Lap at the back, Moloisane, two center back. Good. Understanding in terms of Moloisane is a good. Yes, comfortability. And Titus right forward, left also Guno Renas, and more central Guno Ure. Very dangerous going forward. Manga check Adams line the middle, the way they are understanding each other. Nalumfanu Palace. Very, very good in Gulego. That's why it's understanding Yabu Pegama Kolabo the way they score. In Kulmang a second goal. Very, very good goal. Especially passing.
Third goal.
I mean third goal, I mean to say. Even second.
Second was a corner.
It was a corner, yes. And third goal, yes. Manga cheka lumfana lo fan very good Wednesday lapha. Ikutshela ngiunderstand strengths each other. Very, very surprised. I mean, I don't understand. Khatano Thembi is a very experienced coach. Playing these kids, I don't mind. Astale goalkeeper. I know which him the instruction was boy ngizokuniga lama game cup. And ngizokune uCheckson Mabukwane league. But in terms of building a confident a winning combination as a coach, winning the trophy, especially with Richards Bay, was gonna build the trust with technical team to you. No matter what final. I couldn't understand why putting Jackson Mabukhwane, especially with semi-final, on the bench, and also Abem Nabas on the bench like Mhomi. As I understand it for real, and taking out the striker second half, leaving these kids here, it didn't make sense to me. I mean, Unobono Pans Pela. I think Pans was the only experienced player. Ngibonile Richards Bay. None other than that, these kids inexperienced kulego. Stage fright, you could tell. Not even total. Nkulmange ball circulation. I'm telling my department. Very tactical bonili team, not discipline. Pegama call babako ranga. I mean, my area. Goalkeeper 6 area box, whereby both goals, first goal and second goal, it's him. The area Kelia, third goal. I mean, any stretcher. So where was the cover? The Maba Pizza do Muntu. Where was the cover? The defender wang press of Van Veek lapa. Van Veek ubuya from the bench. I mean, who's the actively ngali andlela. Utaivelani and why back pedaling. So iamba nangi coaching team yake lose too much tactically. Also indlela badlala ngayo. They lost itimga Kaitano Tembo. Stage fright, I think, to team yake.
What about him and his approach to the game? Because you're mentioning it's a good point, the personnel, abantu bebadlala. But there's also a question about indlela abacela ukuthi badlale ngayo. Because at the beginning of every game, the score is 0-0. If your approach to the game, to football, is defending, you are defending what? Because ukuze bafike it was Orlando Pirates failing to score. Then we will drag them to the penalties. And then anything can happen. Klalama dies. whoever wins. At 0-0, and it's all made a good point. It looks like they don't have a plan to score. At 0-0, it's 0-0 Makali game. What is your plan to score? How are you coaching these boys, every player behind the ball? What would you say to Itektik Kaitano Tembo? Because it's consistent every single game. That's what it does.
Confusing, because it's very difficult to tell a player inexperienced to stay disciplined. Mazorani crown long. They will follow each other. Yes, truly speaking, today approach the game, we'll stop Stellenbosch without having a plan. But forgetting with these players, they're inexperienced. Bafuna express. I mean, Basha stage fright already. Basbona bago final or by winning. But you win kanjani. So itimi yake mawanga mcheka bayanga na plan to go behind the defense. Yeah, you Stellenbosch. I mean, first half spend is cut afini about defending. Each and every player behind the ball. You move yabo by Kali afini abo nkuluma ngama cheko abo right and left. Abo pants. Both right backs and left, right forward and left and right back, wing back nearer to each other. When they got the ball, very much loser. I mean, most of the move afini we winger forward or right or left or if central. Uzokata lokusuka lani bola. Uma uyofika kule 18 area, especially as Stellenbosch. I understand ukuthi beka zamkwenzani, but that's how he is. Naku SuperSport bekana kudlala 5-2 and then 3. Okanye mhlambe adlale nga 4-2-4. I don't understand. Yeah, kube weba. Yes, true, and kube weba nomkwena la middle. And then team abo kampane lungu no pasera the run. And I mean ayiko ngisho ngithi type njani coach aleyo. And more or less manje he's supposed to be experienced coach. He is experienced coach, but he need to improve in coaching yakhe. I'm not too sure what you are selling these players. Kulego doesn't make sense on Abel Mabeso. No mangabe Abel in terms of tactically. Abel is not more comfortable playing. Homie is more a playmaker. Play them. Play those players and try to find the upans and leave that strike alone. And Msamo Mutumum Faiga left. Now Itimia can understand good why he was doing this, and that's Kaitano for you. I mean, he made a touch and I play him, especially when he came. He has players, they are not good enough. I need to be honest. I mean, especially by Richard P. I mean, Manga check and fit winning in Pola, Labadalum Fanu Comete. Lepola Lily, I'll tell him as a surprise. Fanagit Fagi Podi, La Paxepoxin, and then you 88 and speed. Just accelerate a bit. Bebas of foul away penal. But if you use a common sense lap. Ugutu trepele pole ukabanga ukuthi ungale afinini vele bazokmarka uFanren vele is so quick in terms of recovery. It deserves a call up fit. For me kunamanye ama player ku national team that we deserve a call up.
In fact, just on that point, I think Umutau hands down best right back. I think this one is the second best right back. For me,
yes, ukuthi underrated akekho khuluma ngaye. But look at the ball Tilani 1v1. I mean, they are recovery layer. Lomchita receive ball akala ukumete and then I recover without even fouling him, and then I figure lapha you need side defenders. Wangithi umndawo intemenza be best was dealing 1v1. He recovers, no Mumpitili recovers now. Loge technically knows how to kick the ball. Noma ngafika kula state umbheke the way. Yeah, so in fact very they've got a full pack amnandi kakhulu. I mean no Pasadine. Especially that's why ngithi defense yabo credit structure mfethu mina nyakhala yabo credit to this guy I coach yena Steve Parker. I mean Steve Parker ngimbonile coacher he talks but team yakhe le I think there's somebody behind, but now nokuthi amamele credit to him.
There's the thing that you mentioned about the structure, people don't really understand it sometimes. Actually this team is very good at running the whole thing, operation ukuthi every single person sine data siyakwazi ukuthi how many kilometers you run at the moment. Njengoba kudlala, you mentioned something as well about abo Mendieta mabehamba. There's always someone else at the moment. There's players there about Jaden Adams who can be bought by bigger clubs. They actually already know ukuthi when Adams move, we're gonna replace him with this player. And by yenza ukuthi disiyabo, that's why they're the defending champions. Good DC challenge. Then they went overseas to play other teams, which they won some of the matches actually against the teams in the English Premier League with the DC challenge yabo, because what they do in the first team, they are also able to do with this challenge, and they are able to replace yabona abo Adams. It's not been 2 years kuluma ngabo. Devin Titus, not been 2 years kuluma ngabo. Mara, they look like seasoned professionals. They don't take time to blend into the first team.
Yeah, it's structure lento engikhuluma ngayo. You summarize kahle ne. You are right, Adams Pega now. I think kube bengasi selling team whereby team by side to other teams. They was a compete. They were going to, yes, they were going. If that, I mean, holding those players but compete abo timba nabo mende bangabambisi le ntwana sifike lapha kube the competition be high. We're going to win something for the team. So now credit mfethu umuntu I think lo muntu basetele structure. You ngithi we coach obvious, but even people who are behind the structure, the chairman himself at this team mfethu the couple deserve. I mean, they want to the clinical. There was no way, pound to pound. I mean, Richards Bay, you as a tactical solution. I came approach and understand with the coach Benzani. The way Baba Koranga corner, it doesn't make sense. The goalkeeper is 6 area. He box. Look, I understand when's the mistake, but pile the ball a keeper. The area collapse. Angeke ubambe ibhola line la, you can't yowela phakathi nalo noma ngabe ulibambile beka yowela phakathi. LS2 6 area phuma labantu abanazandla, just punch the ball. So ura ukuthi aza le bhola ngoba liwele lapha kuwo ngedolo, but ugoalkeeper bekane ukuthi angaphuma lipunch. So both goals is him. And uzibuze yiko ngithi mina, yes coach instruction noma ngabe umphile umfana ukuthi uzodlala emakhabini, but as a experienced coach use the common sense ukuthi uJackson yamnida kule game, khuluma nomfana ungambeki ungakhulumi naye boy. I mean, we semnyang laser building confident. We see ourselves sooner the cup. Sayfuna nawe, you're going to benefit in terms of farmer bonus and you're gonna grow. Once you go the list with the team you winning and stuff. And then you understand Jackson fag the difference. Ngabe sikhuluma different story. Ufake no nalum chitima baso ufake naye umhumi. And also mhlambe the strike usiyeke ufake ubansi ngapha ka right ka left mhlambe umbutuma. The different story mfethu. I'm sure the team was going to be being under kuma penalty, but none other than that, the structure qala abashawe structure bengeke bayidli Stellenbosch. This team ihlula ama team abhaya. I mean, the Pirates they struggle against these guys. Recently they lost second leg kuza ngapha eOrlando MTN8, and angikhulumi ngePirates kuphela, ngikhuluma nangaba bo Chiefs naye Sundowns.
They knocked Sundowns out last year with MTN8.
Sundowns they struggled. They knocked them, yes, right. So Stellenbosch faith one of the best for me. Ukuthi njoba ngisho bengana le mentality ukuthi going to sell players and somebody's ready. Angabe ba compete and ngabe second best team in South Africa.
Top 3 definitely.
Yeah, so nguleko well deserved faith Stellenbosch show.
All right, there you go. Thank you very much for that analysis. That was a game then, and it was not bad. 3 goals in it, a lot of talking points as well. The worry was always Uguti, there is a semi-final and the final to be played with 4 smaller teams. How are we going to do this for a Carling Black Label Cup? But these teams went there and they played. They gave their all. The only thing with the Richards Bay is that their plan is to actually not lose a match. Go to penalties, and then sometimes say pop, sometimes say crap. I don't know. Like they just want to do that. That's all their plan. In fact, the last game they played against Pirates was 0-0 in the league because there were no penalties. It ended 0-0. And then the previous one against Pirates, it was 0-0, and then they went to penalties and they won. There is absolutely no plan. There's no plan. Wutinje counter will catch them on the transition. And the only reason why they're not going to be relegated straight is because there's someone else who's worse than them, which is Cape Town Spurs. Otherwise, they would have been relegated. If you take into consideration their form since last season, second round. Last season, second round, they were number 3 in Richards Bay. Behla figure number 13 or 14. They are actually continuing with that bad form from that moment onwards. If anyone deserves to be relegated, it's them. Unless they do something different, and they do something different with the players in January, maybe with the coach as well. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Well done to Stellenbosch. They go on to the final of the Black Label Cup. Thank you very much for watching us.